Welcome back to the Roll-Up High Roller community. As always, nothing on the roll-up is to be construed as financial advice. We are just some educators in the DeFi space. Toss us a quick like, give us a share, a repost, send it to a friend who may want to watch this, and finally, give us a sub or a follow. It means the world to help support credibly neutral educational content in DeFi. We're here to educate, empower, and enrich you, and let's jump in.
What's up, guys? João, good to be here,
What's
buddy.
up, man?
Let's get it.
All good.
We are live from Dev Connect at Istanbul, and man, there's so much knowledge being spread around here. Like, I thought I was up to date in the ecosystem, and I've been getting staking pilled, like with
Of course.
everything that's
Restaking field.
Restaking
field.
like-
That's the big alpha, right?
Yeah.
Big alpha.
liquid staking, restaking. So tell us everything that's going on in the liquid staking world.
So liquid staking, like you see like all the big players, like 𝗨𝗏𝗏, like Rocket Pool, like those are what I consider like the big players, Coinbase with the CBEs and stuff. But I will change this conversation immediately to restaking. Because
This is the main application of liquid staking, is that then you can take the stake
So yeah,
and use it for other things.
Yeah, let's take it a step back. So with staking, you open up a new world of possibilities, right? So that's why people still are very excited with Lido, and that's normal. It's huge. You bring the security to the ecosystem. More ETH staked means more security and yields to the people, which is amazing, right? But then come at this new technology, Eigenlayer, which still being developed right now, and that, in my view, and view that people are developing on Eigen, it's really like bringing the next step forward in DeFi. Why? Because if you stake more, you get more security and more yields. And let me also explain this a little bit because I'm going to start with the Vitalik story. So we have big alpha.
We love Vitalik stories.
Yeah. So it's a big alpha. So Vitalik always been a little bit against Eigenlayer. Why? Because he thinks that can really disrupt the space. Too much leverage. Which is normal. Like if you go to the subprime crisis in TradFi, you see too much leverage. So, but the thing is, so I have a financial background, traditional finance, working for traditional finance before doing this. And the thing is, if you go to have a loan today, you go to the bank and you ask for a loan, and then use that liquid funds to do whatever you want, right? So, and you then repay the loan with time. So that's the same human behavior that people have with staking. So people will not stake and then unstake immediately. No, the stake will stay in the Ethereum ecosystem, meaning that it will bring more security to the system, more ETH staked, and a better ecosystem for everyone. Because the human behavior, natural human behavior, they will not unstake immediately. So that problem is actually not a problem, in my view. So, and the big alpha is that we actually spoke with, so not me personally, but a friend of mine today just told us that he spoke with Vitalik in Zuzalu, so early today, and apparently Vitalik says that he's now going to start supporting restaking. So this was what he said. So I'm going to start supporting restaking, and like I'm very curious. I'm very curious to know more. I'm very curious to know his views because. Up until now, and I completely understand his point of view, like the over leverage problems with with slashing, and we are going to talk all about that in a bit. But slashing could be a big problem, especially if you stake on multiple validators. And the thing is, it could be a problem, absolutely. But now with Vitalik supporting, maybe there is some news coming up. I don't know. People already developing more and more solutions. One thing that I said in my panel here today is that we need to have even more attention to insurance on slashing, to make sure that people are not getting slashed, to make sure that we have the best validators in the space, the best due diligence on validators, and that's how the space will grow. More Ethereum, more yields, everyone's happy.
Yeah, that makes sense. So to trace the steps here, Vitalik was against restaking, because what restaking does is leverage up the Ethereum consensus network.
Correct.
There's some ETH that is staked in validators, and then by restaking, you take the ETH in validators and you apply it to other applications. That might be like I stake ETH in a validator. It secures the Ethereum network, and then we have like like all of these liquid staking tokens. And technically I could use the liquid staking tokens to create another proof of stake network. So I take my Lido ETH,
Correct.
I stake that in a validator,
Correct.
and then it now validates transactions through Ethereum Cash.
Correct.
Some crazy L2. We can just
Correct.
keep recycling these tokens, and they can keep staking in new networks.
Yeah.
And Vitalik's concern about that was that it stretches Ethereum's consensus until it is being used and pulled in so many different directions that now it's no longer for Ethereum, and then does it break at a certain point? I think that was the concern.
That is a very good point, and we can explore this further because Eigenlayer is still at its infancy right now, so it's still being developed. Still testnet, the mainnet supposedly can go on February, March, so we still don't know. And they don't know. Why? Because they are still doing their research, which is good, A lot of people like from MIT, UC Berkeley are behind Eigenlayer, and that's good. You need good academics, you need the best talent working on this, because if something goes wrong, like, I don't know, probably crypto goes kaboom, So we need to make sure that nothing goes wrong with the ecosystem, right? And that's exactly why Eigenlayer is being also delayed a little bit. So, but what is Eigenlayer really doing? What is the multiple staking? So right now, the way that we are using it, especially at Genesis, is you stake native ETH with us. By the way, I should maybe introduce Genesis a little bit, what we do and the company. So we are doing the first native token on Eigenlayer. And on top of that, we are doing the first insurance on slashing on-chain, and also creating a feature called Flash and Stake, which is, so this was actually proposed to me from one of DGen that I met in New York. Actually was here 5 minutes ago. That guy that he just spoke, that guy was the one that told me, we should do something even more crazy. And I was like, let me talk to my team to know if this is possible or not. So Eigenlayer, because of the consensus and to maintain security, only allows 7 days withdrawal period.
Okay.
So your ETH stays locked for 7 days after you say that you want to unlock.
Right. So one stake, you have like a 7-day cooldown type of period, and then you receive your Ethereum.
Correct. We are leveraging up that a little bit. Why? But not in a so degen way. We are actually doing something really, really alpha, I will say. So it's actually very simple. Imagine that you want your ETH unstaked back faster, right? You say, I don't want to wait 7 days. I want in one day, 1 hour. 100% possible. How? We are partnering up with liquidity funds and liquidity providers that we can then do a flash loan with them, repay you, and when Eigenlayer pays us, we repay the loan. And we do that via a fee, and everyone stays happy.
Yeah. And this is like what we're seeing in bridges through
100%.
Optimistic rollups. Arbitrum and Optimism have this 7-day dispute period. And during that dispute period is the time when someone can come in and they can dispute a transaction. But what we're seeing is like these liquidity bridges. If you want to go from Arbitrum back to Ethereum mainnet,
Right.
and within a matter of minutes, you don't want to wait the 7-day period.
100%.
So you don't use the canonical bridge that takes 7 days. You go through this liquidity bridge that will provide you your liquidity. They will give you those tokens on the destination chain. And then when your 7-day period ends and your funds are unlocked, they will take those funds and they can go, and you can go your separate ways, and everything is okay. So and this is one of the things that's coming out of Genesis and the restaking. So maybe you could talk more about like how Eigenlayer, like when I first heard about Eigenlayer, it was during the data availability narrative, and I was thinking like, okay, Eigenlayer is getting all of this stake, and they are going to have data for all of this Ethereum for all these networks. Now, how is Eigenlayer like utilizing this stake that they're acquiring for some of the other applications like Genesis and the restaking that you guys are doing? How are you guys using the restaking in a safe way so that Vitalik is now supporting things that like you're working on?
Right.
What do you think about that?
So like I think that so the main purpose for Eigen, as I see it, is bring more security to the ecosystem, at the same time bring more yields. So the way that you do it is you put your stake on an eigenpod. Inside the eigenpod, you have several validators, and inside every validator, you have an AVS. or multiple AVSs.
Okay, what is an AVS?
So AVS is an activated validated system. Service, sorry. Active validator service.
Okay.
So it acts like a second layer validation, so to speak.
Okay.
And so in the beginning, because we are doing a customizable operation, which allows us to, we ask the client how much risk they want to take and how much yield they want to take. And we choose via a list of validators that we have, the best risk profile per client, and then we make it happen via staking and how much yields they want to get. I'm saying, for example, so Lido is doing 4% in Eigenlayer, and right now this, again, Eigenlayer is still under development. Right now, they are supposedly allowing 3-4 stakes. So imagine 4%, 8, 12, maybe 12, 16%. So it's the range that we are aiming, you know, like 12%, maybe 16 maximum. That's the range we are aiming right now. So 3 to 4 validations. And in the beginning, we thought, okay, to have the maximum efficiency for us, let's make sure that we are choosing the validators and the AVSs. But right now, we switch a little bit the narrative, because if we do that, we will spend the majority of our time just doing DD. So what we are doing is right now, our business model is we choose the validator, and each validator has the job already to onboard the best AVSs on site Eigen.
Okay.
And the way that we are also doing it, we are not chasing like solo validators or anything like that. We are partnering up with funds and indexes that already did due diligence on the validators, and they already did all this due diligence. They already know which are the best guys, and we are just partnering up with them, and they already have a pool.
Yeah.
So instead of we losing like hundreds of hours partnering up with the best, we just partner up with 1 or 2 of the best systems, and they already have their list of validators.
Very cool. Very cool. This is very educational. Like I'm learning a lot while I'm here, because like this entire liquid staking ecosystem is only online since the merge.
Right.
The merge was 2019. I think it was December. Maybe it was quite a bit later than that. I'm not sure exactly, but it's only been around for a little bit of time. I think it's very cool to see that, like, okay, Eigenlayer is now used for these other applications. Like you said, Lido is giving 4% yield on ETH that is staked in Lido. So when we recycle, that's what I'm calling it, restake, we're going to apply this ETH to multiple different other ecosystems. That'll supply more yield. Now, I think we spoke about Vitalik's concern when you restake. You're adding more yield because you're applying it. You're using it for security in these other networks, but you're also bringing in those risks, right? Because when you restake, you're now stretching Ethereum's consensus. So it's about building the right risk profile.
Oh yeah, but like coming back to my first example, imagine the loan scenario again, or let's say a mortgage. When you have a mortgage, you have your house, you stake your house, and then you get liquidated, right? That's a mortgage. You give the bank your house as a collateral, as an asset.
I think that's a great example.
He's a great example. I've been telling that to all the VCs that I'm doing fundraising with Genesis. Like, he's the best example. You know, like you use your house as collateral, then you get liquidity. It's the same thing as staking.
Okay.
You use your asset, you stake it, you get the collateral with liquid funds. And so the more you stake, the more houses you put in the ecosystem, they will be locked in, you know? And as a normal human behavior, it's not your normal behavior to, oh, I'm going to do a mortgage and then I repay it immediately. No. You do a mortgage, you use their liquidity to do other stuff, you do it, and then you repay with time. So that's how I see the restaking scenarios. You repay, for example, you stake 3 times, and then you want to stake like the first part on the second, and then the third, and then you get your ETH. But for you to get your native ETH is a process. And I don't believe, but again, this is just speculation. I don't believe that people will just stake and unstake immediately. But again, this also needs to be considered. And that's why everything is still under research and under heavy research. And that's good.
Yeah. And let me also say that, like, we realize just as an ecosystem that, like, with risk, you get reward. And with reward, they go hand in hand. 100%. So in this example of staking your house, you get like liquidity. You get liquidity on your house. If we were to restake, then it would be like a second mortgage.
Your second mortgage.
Okay. So we are essentially like leveraging the Ethereum,
Yes, the asset.
the asset.
Yes, yes.
And because, and this is again to your 𝗵𝗵𝗃 story.
Yeah.
And I think what 𝗵𝗵𝗃 is saying in that story is that it's okay to leverage up Ethereum. Now that Ethereum is decentralized enough, it's okay to leverage up because it's like we have a very healthy health factor.
Correct.
We can take some more steps with Ethereum.
Yeah.
The risks are low enough that we can squeeze a little bit more reward
Yes.
out of the Ethereum.
Yeah, but the thing is that, so theoretically, let's talk about the theory behind Eigenlayer, because there is like 2 points which I think are really fascinating. First thing is, theoretically, you can stake on Eigenlayer like infinite times almost, like it's like built to stake infinite times. But that's why they are not allowing that. They're allowing like the triple or quadruple stake because, and I don't even know if more stakes will be available, and maybe it shouldn't be available because like stake 3 times is already enough, So this is a research question. I'm not researching on Eigen, I'm just letting it out there. But like staking 3 times is very good. Staking 4 is insane. Maybe we should stop because the leverage can go too much insane.
Could go bonkers.
Yeah, because like if you tell to a degen like, oh, you can stake 100 times, they'll say, oh, yeah, sure,
They'll do it.
Yeah, they will do it, but then you have a subprime crisis. Then you have people losing their homes, losing everything. The financial crisis is like insane.
Right.
Everything collapsing, right? So I think there should be boundaries, and I'm glad that there are boundaries right now. And that's good. Second good thing, and this is actually, I brought this on the panel, and even the guys from Eigenlayer look at me like, yeah, this needs to be addressed, which is, theoretically, on the paper from Eigenlayer, you can get slashed beyond 100%.
How's that? How do they take money from you?
I'm going to explain. So, because you have multiple validators, if you get slashed on validator 1, 2, and not on the third, you get slashed to 100%, 100 plus 100. You get slashed to 100%. But the thing is, and we already asked this for the Eigen team, and they say like, well, that's kind of not possible. And I agree, because if you already have 100% liquidity, you lose 100, matches, it's done, right? But if you lose 200, where are they finding the other 100? It's in the void, it's in the nothing. Someone will lose that money. Are you bringing that from the market? Taking it from someone else? Are you printing money to lose money on a void slashing? No. So that needs to be addressed. And I don't know how they are going to solve it. I don't know if there is some kind of like mechanism, like for example, instead of putting the slashing on the validator 1 or 2 or 3, which is 300% slashing, you can put a slashing on the eigenpod. And then if you get slashes on the Eigen, it's just 100%. Because the eigenpod has 3 validators, for example, inside. So if you get slashed 3 times, 300. If you get slashed on the eigenpod, it's just 100. So maybe could be a way to solve this. I don't know. Maybe like the eigenpod splits the slashing. Like, for example, 33%, 33, 33. And then you get slashed only 33% in each validator to be the 100%. Maybe this is a solution. I don't know. This is just theory.
Yeah.
But it is a problem.
It is because when you think about like recycling this ETH, maybe it's if it's 3 times, maybe the ETH is being used to secure 3 different networks. If the main ETH is slashed, what happens to the third network? Does it maybe become vulnerable to 51% attacks?
Right.
There's lots of these.
There is a lot of questions, and that's why this is after its infancy. This is being like developed right now, and like we are like really like close with the Eigen team to also try to solve this problem, to bring the solutions to Genesis too, and but yeah, I think like the future is really bright in DeFi, and I see this as the future of DeFi, like 100%. And looking at the market in general, like you see that. Especially in crypto, the projects that are really going forward, VCs are excited about what? DeFi. What are the best projects in the space? DeFi, So I do think that we are in the right place, in the right time. And like, remember the early days of BTC, early days of BTC, it was like a thing. Then it was Ethereum. Now I think it's Eigen.
Yeah.
It's going to be the same. It will change everything.
Very cool.
It will change everything.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think Ethereum and cryptocurrency has found its product market fit in DeFi, and now we're starting to explore these applications that go beyond a single network. We're going towards a world with thousands of app chains, roll-ups, and this means thousands of applications, and we will continue to see more and more scalability without losing security. And I think that is kind of the gap that we are looking for Eigen to fill, is make sure that we have security at the core, because we will scale, we will restake, and we want to make sure that we are stretching a very secure foundation.
Yeah, 100%, man. That's it. That's about it.
João, it's absolutely
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
cheers.
Thank you, guys.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah, 100%. Let's do it.